Moberg Pharma is a rapidly growing pharma company. We're commercial. We're having a commercial portfolio on the market in the US with a number of brands that are sold through our subsidiary, and through more than 10 distributors. We're selling our products on more than 40 markets worldwide. And in addition to our commercial operations, we also have a pipeline that we're developing, and primarily two pipeline assets. One where we're preparing phase 3, and that's MOB-15 in onychomycosis, and BUPI, which is currently in ongoing phase 2 trials. There we expect to get results later this year. So it's a growing company, and we're growing both organically and through acquisitions. We had a very strong quarter in Q2, and it was basically across all areas of the business. So we had strong growth in the US, we had strong growth on the distributor side, and also kicking in with launches in Asia. That was a key driver also of the growth. So all in all, 60% growth, 40% at fixed exchange rates, and we're very happy with that. Well, first of all, we're growing rapidly, and then of course you have to invest in marketing as well. And in addition to that, we have a launch of 2 line extensions during the second quarter, and there of course you have an extra cost during the launch period. And we're also investing in developing our main brand in the US, the Carousel brand. So we will work quite a lot with that during this year before a relaunch or strengthening of the launch during next year. And in addition to that, we also had some extraordinary items that were connected to our stock option programs across all cost items, basically, since we had a very positive share price development, and that affects the cost level. Yes, let me describe the accounting provisions. So we basically have stock option programs in the company that are personnel warrants. And that means that every quarter, depending on the share price, we're making provisions for the future social costs to be paid when those options are called upon. So that's not an actual cost that we pay right now. It's not a cash expense right now. It's a provision that we make for the future. And during this year, we had a very positive share price development, up almost 70% since the start of the year. And that means that those provisions become sizable, but they're not a cash item. And at the end, when they will be, when those options will be transferred into shares, we have a corresponding hedge, so it will not have any cash effect on the company. Well, the total onychomycosis market in the US is growing very rapidly. We see that now with almost 50% growth in dollars, and that amounts to about $500 million in value. And the prescription market is much larger than the OTC category. What we've seen now is that during the launch year, there have been very intense direct-to-consumer marketing, and that has, we believe, affected the OTC category during the second quarter. We did not see any effect at all during the first quarter. We think that that effect is really linked to the launch initiatives for the prescription drugs, and we do see a good future for the OTC market going forward, but we have to wait and see what happens over the next few quarters. Yes, let me start with BUPI, which is our program for pain relief in relation to oral mucositis. And here we have an ongoing phase 2, and enrollment is progressing. It was progressing really well during the summer, so we have 30 patients enrolled and a target of about 40 patients. So we expect to have the data during the last quarter of this year. For MOB-15, which is our topical terbinafine for onychomycosis, we are building on great phase 2 results from last year, and we're now preparing for phase 3. So we're both preparing all the supply issues and CMC issues, and we're also preparing, of course, the design of the phase 3 program. So we involved some of the leading experts, both in North America and in Europe, and we're going to set the design rather soon and then have discussions with the FDA and some European agencies as well. So that is progressing very, very well. We are discussing with partners, but not the traditional license partner, since we aim to really keep the rights to this asset, which we think is very valuable for the US and for Europe. But we are discussing with partners that can meet the requirements on the supply side and also on the rest of world territories that could, for example, enter collaboration and will do part of a global phase 3 program, which could then absorb some of our costs.